Okay. Okay. So how are you since last week, since I saw you last? What's happening?
Nothing. I'm just super bored.
Have you been looking up anything online for things that you can do uh to sort of tackle the boredness, the boredom?
I just play on my phone and
Yeah.
sometimes listen to music.
Have you seen so I'm not going to go like I was going to review things like the ropes and muting your microphone and all that stuff, and I'm not going to go through that since it's just me and you for now, okay? Because I know you know those things. Um, what I want to show you, I don't know if you've figured out how to access this, but I'm going to show you on the Boys and Girls Club website how to get to a list of a bunch of activities that we've listed. Um, we're calling them self-guided activities. Have you seen those yet?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so what I'm going to do, and hopefully I do it correctly this time. I remember last week Kellen had to come and rescue me, but I think I figured it out now. Um, I'm going to share my screen with you, and then I'm just going to show you on the website. Okay, so can you see the Boys and Girls Club website?
Yep.
All right. So whenever all it is just the bgcwpa.org. When you get here, you're going to click right here. Do you see Visit InstaClubhouse?
Yeah.
Okay, so I click on that. I'm just going to show you how to do it. That way it'll make it a little bit easier for you to get there. Okay, and for anybody else who's watching, this is how you get to the self-guided activities. So I've clicked on the BGC Insta Clubhouse, and then unfortunately for now, you have to click on a few links before you get there. We're still working on making it a little bit easier for you. But for now, what you'll do is just scroll down. We have to get consent, and there's 2 pages of consent that we have to go through. It's up to you if you want to take some time to read through what the CEO has written out for us, but otherwise, you see how I'm just scrolling down again, and I click the consent a second time. Are you able to see it?
Yep.
Okay, so now we're getting started with Insta Clubhouse. And we got to scroll down one more time. And you see the program schedule for teens. I just highlighted it. It's purple.
Mhm.
Okay. Thank you for letting me know you're with me. All right. And then you click on the teens. And this is where you're going to find, as you scroll down, do you see on the left, it has like the week of March 30th, self-guided activities, or the week of April 6th, self-guided activities. So let's just go to last week's. If you click on that, it's going to take you to a document. You can access this too. And what we've done, me and Kellen and Emily and Liz, is that we've created a bunch of these activities that you can do on your own. And if you do one of these self-guided activities, you can fill out a reflection form to get credit for it, okay? So let's
Mhm.
just say we scroll down and hold on, it's still loading. Okay. There's all sorts of activities. We have a few categories, as you can see. We've got life skills, college readiness, and career readiness, mindfulness, meditation, yoga. Miss Emily and I have done that, and we've done it in a way that's kind of starting you off slowly if it's something that you want to explore. But you see all the links here. You can click on any of those. So I'm just going to go to, let's see, actually, I'm going to go back to this week's self-guided activities. So just click back. And here we are for the week of April 6th, self-guided activities. And I'm going to show you what we came up with. But this is, again, like if you really are feeling bored, we've actually spent a lot of time coming up with these different activities for you all to engage in while you're at home. And you just scroll down and you click on any of those links. Now I'm going to show you this. I don't think you can hear it, but like in the mindfulness meditation yoga, I linked you to something called mindful breathing, and it's actually me doing, do you see me with my finger on my nose?
Yeah.
Okay. So if we click on that, now you're not going to be able to listen to it, but it will take you to a video that you can follow along with. Okay. Um, so I'm going to come back to you. Did that all make sense, Casey?
Yep.
Do you want to take you through it again, or do you think you got a pretty good feel for it?
I got it.
Okay. So if you, like I said, if you go to those documents, and it's all on the Boys and Girls Club website, it'll link you. Like I've mostly done activities around like art. And then I've helped Emily and I have worked together to do the yoga, meditation, mindfulness activities. But some of the art activities that I included aren't necessarily like visual arts where you have to have lots of supplies. Like I put a link to a really good video about doodling, easy stuff that you can do at home. What else? They have lots of virtual tours online of different museums. And there's one link that actually takes you to these live webcams in this um, to this aquarium in California, and you can just sit and watch their open sea exhibit and just see like sharks and fish, and it's pretty cool. I played around on it for a little bit, so just next time you're feeling kind of bored, follow those steps, get to those self-guided activities. If you do one of them, you can fill out the teen reflection form, and it'll ask you, did you participate in a live session or a self-guided? And then you would click the self-guided and just answer the questions like you've been answering them. Did you see that you won last week's prize?
Oh, I did.
You did.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, if you before we end today, I'll show you on the YouTube channel. We have a team YouTube channel too, where you can see some of the videos that we've done. Kara, like Miss Kara, she spins this wheel, and every time you do a reflection form, you get a spot on the wheel. So you had like
Oh.
4 spots. So I'm glad you won. I would have been upset if somebody else won because you had the most spots. But I'll find out what, or just look at your email. Look at the email that you provided, the Casey
81.
81. Yeah. So I shouldn't be telling your email this, but check that email because she probably reached out to you on that email to let you
Yeah,
choose
I
what kind of.
never check my emails. I need to start checking my emails. I never do.
It's probably a good habit to get into, especially now because you're going to be having to do a lot more self motivation for anything from these kinds of activities to, I know with your school stuff, it's not mandatory, it's optional. But have you looked yet on the McKeesport website?
No, my mom, she got this stuff coming like to the mail.
Oh, so you're going to get some paper copies sent?
Yep.
Okay, good. Well, just so you know, and we don't have to talk about it too much, that we're also, I mentioned this last week, and I'm sure Kellen might have said something in his session, but we are talking about providing some additional support for whatever it is, math, science, English, and social studies. So we'll keep you posted on that if that's something that you're interested in. If you're having trouble with some of the worksheets or whatever it is that they provided you, we're going to try to make ourselves available to help you with that. Okay.
Mhm.
Well, this will be just a conversation between me and you for now, but I just wanted to remind you from last week that we had talked about that concept of self-care. Do you remember?
Yep.
And some of the things that we came up with were like just kind of sometimes just basic hygiene stuff that we have to continue. But you also brought up, respecting your body, which I like because I was thinking about that, and um, I thought about like other ways or what other meanings that has respect the body. And I was thinking about things like, what we consume, what we eat, if we exercise, making sure that we're not doing like really dangerous things that put our bodies at risk. But I mean, respecting your body can have so many meanings. So I did appreciate that addition to our brainstorm. And then I just was going to check in with you all to see, like, have you been doing anything that you consider self-care the last week since I've seen you?
Yep, I get in the shower every single day.
Good. Change out of your pajamas?
Yep, I just got out the
No.
shower. That's why I was late on this.
Oh, that's okay. I'm glad you took a shower. um, yeah, I think, like I said last week, especially now, some of those actions that were just typically part of our routine are now something that we have to think a little bit more about. Like, oh, I didn't brush my teeth today. I better go and brush my teeth before it gets too late. Like, I'll tell you, yesterday, I think I got like halfway through the day and I was like, forgot to brush my teeth because I wasn't going anywhere. So I didn't, I didn't think to do it. Whereas usually in the past, it's just when I'm getting ready in the morning, it's like part of my normal routine. Have you been drinking water? That was the one that you said you were going to try to do
Yeah,
more of.
that's my favorite drink. It's so easy to drink water.
Mm-hmm. Good. Have you been staying in?
No.
Okay. So just be aware that, there is a government order for us to stay in. Okay. So I do have to discourage you from going too far out of your zone. All right. Because you might be safe, but you have to remember that young people, healthy people, we're the ones who can carry it around and spread it without knowing it. Okay.
Mhm.
So just I know it seems fairly calm. I don't know if you've been following with how many cases are in McKeesport.
Mm-mm.
It's not too bad yet. I think the last we checked, the confirmed number of cases were only like 12. That doesn't mean that there aren't more. So just
That's a lot from a key sport.
for McKee, well, there's going to be more. I mean, it's just inevitable.
Dang, they should
So
take all the sick people somewhere, like on a different like island or something, or like just keep them somewhere else.
I understand, but the problem is a lot of people are carrying it and they don't
Hell,
know that they have it. Well, no,
okay,
that
go to
could
the
be you
hospital.
because you don't know, but they're not going to give you a test if you're not presenting symptoms.
Oh, dang,
You see, that's why
that's
you have
terrible.
to. That's why you have to be careful not going out too much right now.
So they have a test.
There is a test for it, but I mean, you have to answer a bunch of questions in order to qualify to get the test. So, like, somebody might think they have it, but if they're not really, really sick, if the hospital or the doctor's office has a limited number of tests,
So the doctors or whatever, they're making it harder on everyone because
well, it's not their choice. It's just that they don't have enough tests. That's the problem, or one of the problems. But I mean, if a doctor say only gets 5 tests and they have 100 people come in, what do they do?
get more tests.
That's what they're trying. That's what they're
So
trying.
if they got the test right now, is it that hard to make more copies of the same test that they have?
Well, it's not a matter of it being hard to get the test because the test is just a swab. It's a long, like, Q-tip that they stick really far up your nose and really
Your
far down
nose
your throat, both your throat and your nose.
doesn't that hurt?
I think it does hurt a little bit. Yeah.
I don't care if I even have it. I'm not even
Oh,
going to the
Casey,
hospital.
please. Casey, you got to do what you got to do sometimes, okay? But the point is, it's not just about the test, it's about sending the tests off and getting the results back from the lab. But you're right, it does sound simple. If we have the tests, why aren't we mass producing these and sending them out? I can't answer that question. No, it's a really valid question, and a lot of people want to know, like, where are the tests? So, but until then, I mean, I really, really, really strongly encourage you to, like, if you go out for the day, to stay far from people. They're now telling you to cover your mouth with something. So even if you don't have like a face mask, just making like a simple bandana. I was actually going to make a video. So if I do, I will let you know, but check your email,
But
okay?
like, what do they do?
What do what do?
Like the face mask and everything, because you can't like people are spraying stuff through them and they go right through.
Yeah, well, I mean, it just depends. It's not a perfect system, right? If unless you have one of those N95 masks, which
Mm-hmm.
are the most useful and advanced type of mask, at least having some type of coverage is going to prevent, like, even just a little bit of spittle. You can't even see half the time that it's coming out of your mouth. So it prevents at least you from, like, let's just say you have it, you don't know it, and you're carrying it around. You could be talking, you could wipe your nose and then touch something. So it kind of stops people from touching their faces, but also prevents whatever um, little molecules or particles from spreading out. And it also protects the people that are vulnerable. You know, it's not perfect by no means, but it's just one more small step to kind of help curb the spread. Um, you know, I have a friend who's a nurse in an emergency room in California, and she said that they've been dealing with it for a couple months now, but their governor had put the stay-at-home order in pretty early, and they've started to come down, right? So I don't know if you've heard that phrase, flattening the curve. They sort of hit their peak number of cases and they're starting to come down now. But that's because most people, at least in the San Francisco area, and I think through most of the state, really followed those orders. So it's not fun, I know, but I just encourage you to maybe stop taking the bus, okay?
I don't take the bus, I walk.
Okay. Well, good. So look out for my video because I'm going to show how to make a really easy homemade mask, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Um, well, let's see. I was going to talk about something called the mind-body connection. Are you interested in talking about that at all, or do you want to skip to the meditation activity that I planned?
We can talk about whatever. I don't have time for everything.
You do? Well, what we're going to do is,
Yep.
and like after I get through this part of the lesson, when we go off the live stream, we can then talk about, you know, other stuff, TV
Okay.
shows or whatever, you know, more personal things. So I'm going to show you real quick because this sort of piggybacks a little bit off of last week's conversation about self-care, because I think we have to remember that, you know, self-care comes in many forms and it can be, oh, hold on, there's Bree. Hello.
Hi.
Hi, Bree.
Hello.
How are you?
Good.
Good. Glad you're here. So Casey and I were just about to, we were talking a little bit about self-care and what we've been doing, or what types of self-care there are and what you might be doing, especially most recently in the last couple of weeks, in order to take care of yourself a little bit more. So do you have anything that you have been doing to give yourself a little bit of self-care, Bree?
Same thing I always do.
Well, that's good. I mean, if you're keeping up with your normal routines, that's a big piece of it.
Yeah. Like everybody's like schedule, their sleeping schedule's messed up. Mine ain't. It's normal.
Is that because you're working?
Mm, no, I do it when I don't work either.
Okay. Yeah, well, that's definitely something we talked about last week, just keeping up with your normal routines, you know, not oversleeping, still making sure you get up and take a shower and brush your teeth and, you know, do those little things. Um, but I'll show you this real quick that I showed everybody last week. I'm going to share my screen with you just for a moment. Okay. Casey, do you remember this that I showed you?
Yeah.
Bree, can you see that little document I have up there?
Yep.
Okay, so these were the different types of self-care that I kind of quickly reviewed last week. But what Casey and I were just talking about before you hopped on, or what I was about to explain, was that there are different types of self-care. You know, there's physical self-care. We can see it right here under the sneaker: sleep, stretching, walking, what you eat, yoga, rest, any kind of physical release. Maybe that's dancing. But there's also that sort of mental self-care, right? And that can come in different forms, like under the rainbow, the sort of the journaling, yoga, meditation. And then this was a fun little kind of, and I'll show you again where to find this on the Boys and Girls Club website. But these are just some ideas of really simple little things that we can do to take care of ourselves. So we talked a lot about, drinking water. Yes, step outside for some fresh air, but be aware of, where you walk in. Sometimes just looking at a funny video or listening to a song. So just those little reminders that we have. And then the next thing I was going to show you was a document I did real quick called the Mind-Body Connection. Can you see that, Ambry?
Yep.
So have you ever heard of that phrase before, mind-body connection?
No.
All right. Well, I wrote out sort of some of the thoughts that I have, but basically, and I'll just read through it real quick, but this is the idea that our thoughts, feelings, beliefs, and attitudes can positively or negatively affect our biological functioning or our physiology, okay? But simply put, I'm highlighting it right now, the mind can affect how healthy our bodies are, okay?
Yep.
Now we can think of it negatively, but look, it happens. There are negative and positive impacts to the mind-body connection. So I don't want you to think it's only negative, okay? And then underneath what I just highlighted, it says that on the other hand, what we do with our physical body, like what we eat, how much we exercise, even our posture, those things can impact our mental state, again, positively or negatively. And that's that relationship between our minds and bodies. So going back to the self-care conversation, in red, I just wrote self-care and wellness have to incorporate all aspects of ourselves. And then I did sort of an equation in blue that our physical health plus our mental health, it gives us a whole body self-care, right? So that's that body and mind connection. Now, some people, they bring spiritual or spirituality into it. I kind of wrote these quotes, but what I like is the quote below. Highlight that in let's do purple. But the breath is the link between our mind and our body. Okay, so that's why we talk about things like mindfulness and meditation, because a lot of times mindfulness activities are mostly focused on our breathing, and by becoming connected to our breath, it connects us to our whole body. But it does take a little bit of work sometimes. We'll skip through this one. This is really about stress and all of the different ways it might affect our mind, our body, and our emotions, and some of the behaviors that we might have. But I just look at this quick little graphic that I thought was pretty cool, and this really helps to explain a little bit more about the mind-body connection. I want you to look at it, and maybe Casey, can you pick one of those phrases or one of those sentences to just read out loud to us? Pick one and read it. Casey, you good?
Yeah. I can't really see
Can
those.
I make it bigger?
Yeah.
There we go.
Negative emotions can create nervous system chaos, but positive emotions do the opposite.
Okay, so that's that idea that if we have a lot of like, if there's a lot of anger or stress or anxiety, that does affect our nervous system. But when we have those positive emotions like lightness, happiness, calmness, whatever that is, that those can have a positive effect on our nervous system. Bree, do you want to choose one of those sentences? Can you see?
No, I cannot see.
Okay, so I'll read one.
I can't really see.
That's okay. So another one is that positive emotions can increase the brain's ability to make a good decision. And down here, positive emotions create physiological benefits to your body. You can boost your immune system by focusing on your positive emotions. So, setting. But so yeah, that's just that idea that like what we think in our mind can affect our body. What we do with our body can also impact our mind. And that's why I like talking a little bit about mindfulness. So what I'm going to do now is lead you on a quick 2-minute mindful breathing activity. But before we do that, I'm going to, in the chat box, I'm going to link hold on. There's this really cool app. I use the free app. It doesn't give you everything that you know that would be beneficial, but it's pretty nice for a free app. It's called Headspace, and it just gives
I
you
had
like.
that before.
Oh, you had that before? Did
Yeah,
you
like
use?
the orange little circle. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And there's a British guy I think created it.
Yeah, you can pick a female voice or a male's voice, but
Oh, okay.
males are better.
Yeah, I like his voice. I find it really calming. So, well, that's just one. If you've had it before, great. If you're interested in going back to it and trying it out again, that would probably be beneficial, especially now when you talk about things like boredom. Mindfulness stuff can really help you to sort of deal with some of that boredom that you might be feeling. And then I'm also going to populate. This is an interview on Jimmy Fallon. I don't know if you've ever watched his late night show. Pretty funny. But he's been doing a late night show from his house. So he interviewed the creator of Headspace, and then the guy actually did a guided meditation. So that's the link to the chat box. But I'll show you one more time before you leave today how to get to all of those resource links that I keep sharing with you. So I'm going to show you the breathing activity, okay?
Yep.
And when you do things like mindfulness and meditation, everybody sort of has a different opinion, but in terms of a different opinion in terms of like what's the best way to meditate, what are the best kinds of mindfulness activities. And I feel like there's so much out there that it's really just a matter of you finding activities and exercises that you connect with. So some people find it really hard to sit down and sit still. I know for me, it's not the easiest thing. So there are things like walking meditations so that your body's still moving. But I like this breathing activity. I had a yoga instructor, and he was very big on just staying connected to the breath. So hold on. So this is just called an 8-second breathing activity. And before you ever do any kind of activity or exercise where you're going to be doing heavy breathing, I always recommend just blowing your nose. That's silly. But honestly, you have to clear your nasal passages, okay? So just remember after you blow your nose to like throw it away and maybe use hand sanitizer. That's up to you, or wash your hands. But I don't really have much of my nasal passages, but I'm going to do it anyway to just show you. And the goal of that is really to clear the nasal passages, okay? So you can either watch me or you can do it along with me. It's up to you. But all you're going to do is you're going to cover one of your nostrils and then you're going to breathe for 8 seconds. And 8 seconds might not seem like very much time, but it's long, but you want to try to do the whole 8 seconds, okay? So cover your nostril, and then through the other one, you're going to breathe in for 8 seconds. So go ahead and start breathing, and I'll count, okay? 1, 4, 8. Then you're going to switch and breathe it out for 8 seconds, nice and slow. You're going to breathe back into that same nostril for 8 seconds. Now I want you to count for yourself, okay?
Okay.
Switch. Breathe out the opposite nostril. Breathe in. Switch. Out. And that's all that is. Now, you're not going to get the same benefit while we're all sitting around and doing this and I'm kind of talking in your ear, but I can always feel for myself just a little like kind of a little bit of more lightness, a little bit more calmness. But if you sit with yourself and just literally for like 2 minutes and just keep doing that 8 seconds in, 8 seconds out, 8 seconds back in, 8 seconds out. After a few minutes of doing that, you're going to notice a little bit of a difference in your body, at least hopefully. So that is it. Do you have any questions about, meditation or mindfulness or self-care or the mind-body connection, any of that? Or
Nope.
any? Casey, do you remember when we did the that body relaxation in Top Club where I
Yeah.
read it and I remember you, as far as I recall, you said you enjoyed doing that, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So I've also uploaded that body scan. I recorded myself saying it. So when we go to the office hours in a few minutes, I'll show you the link to get there so that if you want to try that at home, you can. I mean, if you don't want to listen to my voice, there are like thousands and thousands and thousands of these kinds of videos out there. But I just thought I'd make one where I'm guiding you through it. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna stop the live session and the recording, and then just stay with me. I'm gonna record our office hours, but we don't do anything with it. We just kind of keep it for our organization. So we're gonna stop that.